the Tap Dance Kid.
Fabulous feats, the Tap Dance Kid. Show us your fabulous feats. Yeah!
Welcome to New York City and Broadway. The League of New York Theaters and Producers is proud to present the American Theater Wing's 38th Annual Tony Awards, given for excellence in the Broadway theater. This has been an exciting, productive, and rewarding season for those of us who work in the theater. And we celebrate tonight by bringing you, live from the stage of the Gershwin Theater right on Broadway, the 1984 Tony Awards, with your host, Robert Preston.
Thank you. Thank you and hello. Did you notice the music? 76 trombones from the Music Man. I had the joy of playing that musical on Broadway for a couple of years, about 18 years ago. And I also had the added joy of making the movie of the same name. Ever since then, every time I've come out on a stage anywhere, I've been played on by that music. That's very complimentary, of course. But especially for the composer, my dear Meredith Willson. Now watch and see what happens when my smashing co-host comes out. Listen to what they play. Miss Julie Andrews.
Smiling at, huh?
Well, I just proved a point.
What was that?
Didn't you hear what they played you on with?
Sure, I could have danced all night always.
Well, that's because, of course, Julie was My Fair Lady. And that was one of her big numbers. It's the songs they remember.
Yeah, it isn't fair, but after all, the American musical theater is truly a collaborative art form, what with the book writer and the designers, lighting, costumes, and scenery, the director, the choreographers, the performers. But what is it we remember?
The songs.
The songs. The music and the lyrics. I guess it isn't fair, but there it is.
So, this evening we'd like to pay particular attention to the work of 4 artists whose music is being heard on Broadway right this minute. Now, we'll see how they got started and remind ourselves of the body of their work that they've created that's brought them here to tonight.
And their work will be performed by people of the theater who have taken this wonderful, original material and helped popularize it for the world. And although we will be handing out the lovely Tony Awards to the deserving winners, we'll explain our voting procedures at the end of the evening.
So don't go away. We'll be right back with the songs, the winners, and the stars.
Who are tonight? Carol Channing, Nancy Dessau, Robert Goulet, Robert Guillaume, Beth Howland, Larry Kurt, Michelle Lee, Dorothy Loudon, Shirley MacLaine, Liza Minnelli, Mary Tyler Moore, Anita Morris, Bernadette Peters, Anthony Quinn, Tony Randall, Cheetah Rivera, Tony Roberts, Leslie Uggams, Gwen Burton, Raquel Welch, and your hosts, Julie Andrews and Robert Preston, with special performances by Gene Barry, Hinton Battle, Liz Calloway, Marilyn Cooper, Catherine Cox, Beth Fowler, George Hearn, Mandy Patinkin, Alfonso Ribeiro. This portion of the 1984 Tony Awards is sponsored by Diet Pepsi. Now Diet Pepsi tastes better than ever. Taste improved by Diet Pepsi. And General Electric. At GE, we bring good things to life.
Oh, we forgot to ask them about...
Right. I'll get them before you get back on the truck.
Ever get the feeling when you buy something that once you get it home, you're out on your own? Well, it's a lot different with GE. We have an answer center to help you 24 hours a day. Servicemen will show up at your convenience. And with GE financing, you may be able to get a new kitchen practically overnight. With GE, you'll never feel alone.
GE, we bring good things to life.
When you invite a man out to a nice place for lunch, you really mean it.
May I show you to your seat, sir? This is our most popular patch of sunshine.
Let's start with a drink.
Diet Pepsi?
Diet Pepsi. Great taste with NutraSweet.
I'm sure it'll be to your liking. Yes?
Yes. To everything with no reservations.
You don't need reservations, sir.
Taste improved by Diet Pepsi.
The great honor of presenting the first Brooks Atkinson Award for unique theater-related activity. Now, let me explain the affection that the theater community felt for this extraordinary man. Brooks Atkinson was the drama critic of the New York Times from 1925 to 1960, and he covered every show in those 35 years, except for the time that he served overseas in World War II. He was a supportive and driving force for excellence in the American theater, to which he was as passionately devoted as the artist whose work he reviewed. Another young man joined the Times in 1925 as well, and although his work appears in other publications too, 60 years later, Al Hirschfeld is still drawing for the New York Times and for us tonight on this curtain. So, it is altogether appropriate that this first Atkinson Award be presented to Al Hirschfeld for his unique contribution, 60 years of drawing the theater, and through his art, bringing people that much closer to our artists and our stages. Mr. Hirschfeld?
Thank you. Thank you. And my thanks to all you wonderful actors who have been my models without pay. And my thanks to the producers who've invited me to all their opening nights with free theater tickets. I'm particularly grateful to the theater for introducing me to my wife, Dolly Haas. I did a drawing of her for the New York Times some 40 years ago. We married, and in close collaboration produced a daughter, Nina. So you see, I'm deeply indebted to the theater for allowing me to live way beyond my means, just like everybody else. And now, to be the first recipient of the Brooks Atkinson Award is an overwhelming experience that I shall not even attempt to describe in bumbling prose. My thanks to all of you, and especially to Brooks.
That is from The Rink, which is the 9th musical on Broadway by Kander and Ebb. Now, these two are nothing if they're not versatile in their choice of subject matter, and their music is assertive and accessible. But there is a thread that runs through everything they write. The very positive fact that life is meant to be lived, not observed. Now, in 1965, John Kander music and Fred Ebb lyrics wrote their first musical called Flora the Red Menace, and audiences were enchanted by this song that Flora sang.
When it all comes true, just the way you planned, it's funny, but the bells don't ring. Happiness comes in on tiptoe. Well, what do you know? It's a quiet thing, a very quiet thing.
From Kander and Ebb's second musical, the much-praised Cabaret.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Fred Ebb est marché très cher. Glücklich zu sehen, je suis enchanté. Happy to see you.
I made my mind up back in Chelsea when I go
In 1967, Cabaret won the Tony as the Best Musical of the Year, and Kander and Ebb won as Best Composer and Lyricist. Patricia Ziprot won as well for her outstanding costume design, and she is nominated again this year with Anne Holt Ward for Sunday in the Park with George. The other nominees are Fiona V. Aldridge for La Cage aux Folles, Jane Greenwood for Heartbreak House, and Anthea Silbert for The Real Thing. And the winner is Fiona Aldridge for La Cage aux Folles. Cannot be with us tonight. Congratulations to you.
In January of 1968, Kander and Ebb's new musical was about a little French-Canadian boy and his relationship with his eccentric photographer uncle. Do you remember when Robert Goulet sang The Happy Time and won the Tony for it?
Have we started? The happy time. Remember the Christmas morning long ago, the frosted glass, the dancing snow, the happy time. Remember a pale pink sky, your first Easter hat. And if you should ask me why, the reason I ask you this is that I'm longing to see you smile and hear you laugh, so I can have the photograph and remember you, remembering the happy time.
I don't remember you. I don't remember you. I don't recall a single thing we used to say or do.
Yes, we were wrong. This moment is new. Because I can't,
I won't,
I
don't remember.
We had another Kander and Ebb musical, the earthy and exuberant Zorba, about a man who lives every moment of his life to the fullest. And there was a woman, a sort of Greek chorus, who fed us painlessly melodic nuggets of truth.
Life is what you do till the moment you die. This is how the time goes.
Zorba's back on Broadway now, with Anthony Quinn recreating his movie role as Zorba.
I ask nothing, I judge nothing. I am free. There's one Zorba, and that Zorba I must be. Heaven waits for other men, but not for me. I fear nothing. I hope for nothing. I am free. Hold back.
In 1969, dear Boris Aronson won the third of his 6 Tonys for his outstanding scenic design for Zorba. Tonight, the nominees in that category are Clark Dunham for End of the World, Peter Larkin for The Rink, Tony Strigas for Sunday in the Park with George, and Tony Walton for The Real Thing. And the winner is Tony Strigas for Sunday in the Park with George.
Thank you very much.
Kander and Ebb's next musical was called 70 Girls 70.
Yes.
It reinforced their positive philosophy of living life to the full.
Yes. Life keeps happening every day. Say yes. When opportunity comes your way, you can't start wondering what to say. You'll never win if you never play. Say yes. There's pink and marigold right outside, and long white Cadillacs you can ride. Nothing's gained if there's nothing tried. Say yes. Yes, I'll look. Yes, I'll walk. Yes, I'd love to do such and such. Yes, I'll try. Yes, I'll dare. Yes, I'll fly. Yes, I'll share. And yes, I am. And yes, I'll be. And yes, I'll go.
Do you want to buy a phone? It's cheaper than AT&T.
What you really need is cheap long distance.
And of course, our business systems are cheaper than AT&T.
You won't get anything this cheap from AT&T.
Everyone's saying they're cheaper than AT&T, but nobody's saying they're better. All they can say is that they're cheaper. To which we say, you get what you pay for.
For all the taste you've missed in wine, pour a Polo.
Instead of Lambrusco, you'll love the taste.
For all the refreshment you've missed in wine, pour a Polo.
Instead of Chablis,
you'll love the taste.
For all there's never been in wine before, pour a Polo.
Instead of Suave.
Now there's a new wine, new Polo Brindisi.
Pour a Polo, you'll love the taste.
Polo Brindisi.
In this rapidly changing world, even the brightest and best manager in the company may need more than a loyal staff to run a smooth operation. For when headquarters calls and pressure builds, it becomes harder to keep things rolling without running into mix-ups, losing control of the operation, and falling behind. For rapid improvement, a manager could use a tool for modern times, the IBM personal computer, for smoother scheduling, better planning, and greater productivity. It can help a manager excel and become a big wheel in the company. The IBM personal computer. See it at a store near you.
The first musical to open in New York in the year 1975 was Chicago. Kander and Ebb's musical adaptation of the 1926 tale of Roxy Hart. Roxy and her friend Velma form an act, and the combined performances of Chita Rivera and Gwen Verdon made one of the most memorable nights in the theater. Go, girl.
Come on, baby, why don't we paint the town? And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down.
and all that jazz. Start the car, I know a whoopee spot where the gin is cold but the piano's hot. It's just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all for that jazz.
Oh, you're gonna see your Sheba shimmy shake.
And all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
It's good, isn't it? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? Nowadays, there's men everywhere, jazz everywhere, booze everywhere, life everywhere, joy everywhere. Nowadays, you can like the life you're living. You can live the life you like. You can even marry Harry, but mess around with Ike. And that's good, isn't it grand? Isn't it great? Isn't it swell? Isn't it fun? Isn't it? But nothing stays. In 50 years or so, it's gonna change, you know. But oh, it's heaven nowadays.
Saw the reuniting of Kander and Ebb and Liza Minnelli. They wrote a musical for her about a film star making her comeback in a Las Vegas act. Now, the show was called The Act, and tonight Raquel Welch will perform the second act showstopper, City Lights.
Love those city lights, those sparkling city lights, those twinkling city lights, blurring my eyes. Walking lanes too big a daisy that could drive a person crazy. Homemade bread lays here like lead, and Polly's peach preserves. Oh, please, my nerves. City lights, I long for those city lights, the bulbs of those beaming bright, beckoning me there, be there. Country air means zilch to me. I won't breathe nothing I can't see. So let me quit and hit those pretty city lights. Love them lights.
What more appropriate moment could there be to list the nominees for Outstanding Lighting Design? They are Ken Billington for End of the World, Jules Fisher for La Cage aux Folles, Richard Nelson for Sunday in the Park with George, Mark B. Weiss for Moon for the Misbegotten. And the winner is Richard Nelson for Sunday in the Park with George.
Thank you. Well, I have a few people to thank because none of us ever does this alone, and I want to thank the awesomely talented crew at the Booth Theater, especially Brian Lynch and Richie Siegel, our chief electricians, and John Hulbert and Pete Miller, who are our front light men, who have become human dimmers to make this work. And my spectacularly good assistant, John Hastings, and our wonderful stage managers, Charlie Blackwell and Fred Orner and Loretta Robertson. Thanks.
Woman of the Year won 4 Tonys, including another for Candor and Ebb. It was about a television newscaster who wasn't doing so well in her personal life. As she did on Broadway, Raquel Welch plays the newscaster, and here she asks advice of her former husband's current wife, played by Marilyn Cooper, who won a Tony for this performance.
I'll bet your friends are all celebrities. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You can make a pot roast. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? First you brown an onion. The public wants your autograph. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You raised a teenage daughter. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? First you find her diaphragm. Oh, the grass is always greener where some other tenant pays rent. Oh, the teeth are always cleaner in somebody else's collagen. You're always in the magazine. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? You can hold a husband. That's wonderful.
What's so wonderful? This mortal life and husband.
I could use a husband.
You can have my husband.
I've already had your husband.
Oh, fishes that are teary. Oh, fishes that are teary. The grass is always greener in someone else's yard. It's hard.
And of course, this season, The Rink. Candor and Ebb are telling us the story of 2 women. One who wants to move on with her life, and her long-estranged daughter who wants to come back home. But home is an old roller skating rink now long out of business. At this moment, they relive the excitement of the daughter's first prom.
Never be a wallflower sitting in a chair up against the wall, waiting for some boy to say, how about a dance? Never take a chance on it, never even once. Mustn't be a dunce, waiting for the look, and hey, how about a twirl? Not my little girl. You've got to stand, baby, tall and proud. Get noticed by the crowd. Shake, baby, make 'em buzz. And you can be a whiz the way your mama was. And not a wallflower wilting in the night. Hands across your lap, not having any fun at all. Up against the wall. Glued against the wall. Plastered to the wall.
If you want to go run with me, if you want to get some fun with me,
Your happiness can be found with me. By going around and round 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 and round.
Well, now that you have heard some clever lyrics and lovely music from shows gone by, let us deal with the current crop of scores nominated as the season's best. They are The Rink, which you have just seen, music by John Candor, lyrics by Fred Ebb. Baby, David Shire, lyrics by Richard Mulvey. La Cage aux Folles, music and lyrics by Jerry Herman. Sunday in the Park with George, music and lyrics by Stephen Sondheim. And the winner is La Cage aux Folles, music and lyrics by Jerry Herman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This award forever shatters a myth about the musical theater. There's been a rumor around for a couple of years that the simple, hummable show tune was no longer welcome on Broadway. Well, it's alive and well at the Palace. And so I would like to thank my beautiful cast and crew and staff, my beautiful La Cage family, for their love and support and for giving me the best of times, with special thanks to Arthur and Harvey and Scott and my brilliant musical department, Don Pippin, Jim Tyler, and Gordon Harrell. The real reward for having worked on La Cage was the joy of having worked on La Cage. Thank you.
Now, even with the scores, the characters in a musical have to talk to each other from time to time, and that's where the book writer comes in, creating the structure on which the entire work is fashioned. Nominees for Best Book are Baby by Sybil Pearson, La Cage aux Folles by Harvey Fierstein, Sunday in the Park with George by James Lapine, The Tap Dance Kid by Charles Blackwell. And the winner is La Cage aux Folles by Harvey Fierstein.
This one spins. Some saw the Tonight Show. First, I've got to thank Arthur Lawrence and Jerry Herman, who took me by the hand, changed my diapers, showed me how to write a musical. Forever, I am grateful to them. I have to thank the incredible cast, all the people that were so supportive, even the Torch Song people who kept me company, and of course my lover, Scott, who's typed everything late at night. Thank you all. I love you. Thank you.
So I finally get to meet him.
He'll be here any minute.
You've been keeping him a secret.
Oh, come on.
Here, hold this. Diet Pepsi does taste better than it used to. Hard to believe that's 1 calorie. They improved it with NutraSweet.
Don't drink it all.
Are those my shoes?
No. Here he is.
I'm ready. I'll probably steal them from you during dinner.
Not a chance.
Hi, Daddy. Hi.
Taste improved by Diet Pepsi.
Introducing a telephone as remarkable as it is reliable. Telephones from General Electric, engineered for years of dependable performance, with sophisticated features like 9-number memory, one-touch redial, and emergency dialing. Backed with a full 2-year warranty and GE Answer Center service 24 hours a day. GE Telephones, the quality rings true.
GE, we bring good things to life.
There are 15 premature labor centers in Illinois. The problem can be getting there in time. But in Illinois, a special helicopter's helping. It's made with Kevlar, a super strong, super light DuPont product, which helps make it light enough to carry doctors, nurses, even an incubator, just in case time runs out. For aeronautics, DuPont Kevlar's a major advance. But for certain mothers, it's a major miracle. DuPont, better things for better living.
Many Visa card holders will soon receive their new Visa cards.
Got yours too?
Yeah.
For some, it will be the new classic Visa card.
I haven't seen you around lately.
Oh, I travel a lot on business.
Until your new classic card arrives, your current Visa card is as good as ever.
You want to break this in?
You're on.
It's a classic.
Your new Visa card.
Visa.
Stay tuned as the Tony Awards bring you Nancy Dessau, Robert Goulet, Robert Guillaume, Beth Howland, Dorothy Loudon, Michelle Lee, Anthony Quinn, Tony Randall, Tony Roberts, Gwen Burton, and the music of Stephen Sondheim.
Monday.
She thinks you're cute.
I am cute.
Not that cute.
Guarding a princess is serious horsing around for Scarecrow and Mrs. King. And on One Day at a Time, it's a question of marital dominance.
Stronger than I am. Feel that.
Then Newhart shows how to turn off your wife's admirer.
This is yours, right?
And
So what are you, a bunch of perverts standing around the woman's job?
Cagney and Lacey track down the vicious attacker of a woman whose life is still threatened by his promised return.
I want to see you.
Monday.
Tomorrow on CBS.
The freedom of flight. It's so easy on TWA. New York is only $114. Los Angeles, just $169.50. And in nearly every TWA city across America, a Hertz car is yours for 2 weekend days, free. On TWA, the freedom of flight isn't limited to the sky alone.
You're gonna like us, TWA.
Hey, Mom, guess how many working mothers it takes to change a light bulb?
Hey, Tim, guess how many 7th graders it takes to mow the lawn?
Hey, Mom, did you know you could buy 10 speed bikes with the American Express card?
At this point, there's nothing I don't know about 10-speed bikes.
Maybe you should get the American Express card.
Hey, Mom, someday I'll take you out to dinner.
Oh, he'll forget. I'll remind him.
The American Express card. It's part of a lot of interesting lives.
President Reagan in Ireland is the story after the Tony Awards.
This portion of the 1984 Tony Awards is sponsored by DuPont, better things for better living, and AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound.
Well, now, we've heard about musicals galore, and a visitor from another planet might justifiably think that Broadway is a theater of musicals only. And, of course, it isn't. Broadway is rich with playwrights, new writers, older craftsmen, and marvelous recreations of American classics. And we also have the artists who make it happen, the directors and the performers. For example, this year, the nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actress in a Play are Christine Baranski for The Wife Who Became the Other Woman in The Real Thing, Joe Henderson for The Long-Suffering Mother in Play Memory, Dana Ivey for her elegant English woman in Heartbreak House, Deborah Rush for her slightly dim-witted ingenue in Noises Off. And the winner is Christine Baranski in The Real Thing.
Thank you. I would prefer to think of this not as a victory over my gifted peers and friends, but as a souvenir of a remarkably blessed, I could say, fertile time in my life. The Real Thing has been the most elegant, exhilarating collaboration I will probably ever be a part of in the theater. I thank every man and woman associated with it. I regret that I don't have time to mention each name and attach an appropriate superlative. I must, however, with all my heart, thank the architects of my good fortune, Mike Nichols, Tom Stoppard, Manny Eisenberg, Yvette Schumer, Michael Oubre, and Jeff Hunter, and my 3 darling husbands, Jeremy Irons, Kenneth Welsh, and Matthew Cole. Thank you.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actor in a Play are Philip Bosco for his Capitalist in Heartbreak House, Joe Mantegna for his high-pressured salesman in Glengarry Glen Ross. Robert Prosky for his defeated salesman in Glengarry Glen Ross. And Douglas Steele for his aging drunk in Noises Off. And the winner is Joe Mantegna in Glengarry Glen Ross.
Quickly, I would like to acknowledge the men of Glengarry, Robert Prosky, James Tolkien, Jack Wallace, Lane Smith, J.T. Walsh, and I'm forgetting one, Mike Nussbaum. I want to, Greg Mosier and everybody at the Goodman Theater in Chicago, David Mamet, my friend, Elliot and Marjorie Martin, and three very important women. My wife, Arlene, my mother, Mary Ann, and our dear friend, Cordis, who has given us a place to stay while we're here in New York. Thank you very much.
Our second musical nominated as the season's best is called Baby. Three women meet in a doctor's office. A 43-year-old mother with kids in college who has found out she is pregnant again, a gym teacher who is finally pregnant after 2 years of trying, and a 19-year-old student who is not married.
I can't wait. I can't wait. For a whole lot of years, you might say that I've been expecting. But I always made sure I didn't expect too much. I sat around on my potential, but now that I have heard this news, it's released all these possibilities, and all I've got to do is choose. I want it all. I want it all. I want the whole female experience and all. I want it all. I want the morning sickness and the elation. I want every known female sensation. I want to be Scarlett O'Hara, Jonah Butler, and Beth Hall. I want it all. I'm sorry. I've been sitting here making decisions just like you have. So the thing that I did was to make myself a list. I put what I want on this side and what I don't want over here. It was quite a bout, but I worked it out, and now the answer's very clear. I want it all. I want it all. I want adventure, love, career, kids large and small. I want it all. I want a quiet, simple life and some glory. And Steven Spielberg filming my first story. I want to be Gloria Steinem, Janis Joplin, Annie Hall. I want to be Katharine Hepburn, Penny Trump, and it's a store. I want to be Mother Teresa, Sally Randall, Dana Ball. I want it all. Oh no, my friend, there's no two ways to slice it. You must choose, my friend. And there are things you gain, but some you lose, my friend. Some truly lovely things. Like what? Like an overtone of romance, an element of surprise. The things any grown-up practical woman gives up if she's wise. I want it all. I want it all. Rise up to the heights and let us all. I want
We're the American Theater Wing. We established the Tony Awards, but we are much more. As president of the Wing for the past 23 years, I'm delighted to report that we've continued our many programs and events, all serving the community through the theater. The Wing's twice yearly Working in the Theater seminars bring to students and young professionals not only stars, but producers, playwrights, composers, and designers, those that truly make theater happen. Of course, there's the Wing's hospital program, which brings live theater to shut-ins at hospitals and institutions. Then, too, we help sponsor scores of performances for children in public schools through the Saturday Theater for Children program. These few words for the Wing apart, I add my congratulations to all of tonight's distinguished nominees. I thank those who have contributed so much to make this 38th Annual Tony Awards such a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Isabel. Now, the nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actress in a Play are Glenn Close for her lovingly unfaithful wife in The Real Thing, Rosemary Harris for her eccentric bohemian seductress in Heartbreak House, Linda Hunt for her sanely intelligent performance as a showbiz agent in End of the World, and Kate Nelligan for her coarse peasant woman with the soul of a young girl in A Moon for the Misbegotten. And the winner is Glenn Close in The Real Thing.
I owe Earl Kirby $50. I want to salute my fellow actresses who I share this category with. I'm deeply honored to be with them. I'm deeply honored to accept this. The Real Thing has been the greatest experience in my career so far. I want to thank Jeremy Irons, my supremely talented and generous co-star, all our cast and crew, and my family in Greenwich and Big Piney. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so very happy to be here. We have had some remarkable performances on Broadway this season, and the nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Play are Rex Harrison for his aging philosopher in Shaw's Heartbreak House, Jeremy Irons for his highly intellectual British playwright in The Real Thing, Calvin Levels for his poorly prepared student desperate for an education in open admissions, and Ian McKellen for his one-man love letter of a show, Acting Shakespeare. And the winner is Jeremy Irons in The Real Thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm honored to be singled out amongst the extraordinary performances I've seen from other actors here on Broadway this season, both those nominated and unnominated. Thank you for that. I would also like to say that it's the happiest 8 months of my life professionally. That is thanks to Mr. Nichols and Mr. Stoppard for asking me to do it, for Mr. Eisenberg to running a wonderful show. What a good man he is. Thank you, Glennie, for really providing as much of my performance as I provide myself. Thank you also, I would like to say, to my colleagues who I miss in England, who for the last 15 years have prepared me to take you on Broadway. And lastly, but by no means leastly, thank you for running my family as well as your own career. Thank you, Sinead.
The nominees for Outstanding Direction of a Play are Michael Blakemore for Noises Off, David Laveau for Moon for the Misbegotten, Gregory Moshe for Glengarry Glen Ross, Mike Nichols for The Real Thing. The winner is Mike Nichols.
In the tradition of Tony acceptances, I would like to thank the Lord and Sam Cohen. However, this may be heresy, but Sam Cohen has appeared to me. He is my friend and my agent, and I thank him. I thank our brilliant cast who made rehearsals as much fun as it is to go to the Plymouth Theater at night. I thank our great designers, Tony Walton, Theron Musser, and Anthea Silbert, for making the stage look magical. I thank my co-producers, Manny Eisenberg and the Schubert Organization. Our two great stage managers, Martin Herzer and Alan Hall. And of course, last in the company, and most of all, Tom Stoppard. It doesn't seem entirely fair to receive this and also get to be Tom's friend. I'd last of all like to thank my wife, Annabelle, who stuck with me through thin. Max and Jenny, go to bed.
When you see Avon now, you'll say, Avon, wow.
We've got the twist, we've got the mist, we've got the bangles for your wrist. We've got the sheen, we've got the clean, we've got the moisturizing cream. We've got your style, we make you smile. We've got the sparkle by the mile. We've got the scrub, we've got the rub, we've got the bubbles for your tub. Lengthy lashes, spread colognes that disconcert.
Avon's got it.
Avon now.
Avon, wow.
Avon now. Wow.
This is Joelle, Jo for short. Just 1 year ago, she lay dying from a narcotic overdose. But Joelle was lucky. She was given a remarkable antidote developed by DuPont that literally saved her life. The rest, however, was up to her. At the Pharmaceuticals Division of DuPont, we think of our antidote as a sort of second chance. Joelle got that chance, and oh, what she's done with it.
DuPont, better things for better living.
Excuse me. I turned off your set so I could tell you about a television from General Electric. Your set has one speaker. GE has two sophisticated speakers that are going to knock your socks off. Your set has a regular tube. GE has the blue NeoVision tube that selectively filters out room light. Now, I'll show you this remarkable TV, but remember, it's going to be on your set.
GE, we bring good things to life. A lot of long-distance companies would like you to think they're just like AT&T. But take a closer look and see how different they really are. No operator service, no immediate credit for wrong numbers, and no service from many small towns. Only one long-distance company gives you full service, only AT&T. Sometimes there's just no substitute for the real thing. AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
Another 100 people just got off of the train and came up to the ground.
While another 100 people just got off of the bus and are looking around.
And another 100 people who got off of the plane and are looking at us.
Who got off of the train and the plane and the bus maybe yesterday.
It's a city of strangers.
There are many things one might say about Stephen Sondheim and his work, but among them is not that he settles for easy.
You don't check your mind with your coat when you buy your ticket for a Sondheim musical.
The first Broadway show that carried a Sondheim credit was West Side Story.
Although he's known far and wide today as a composer, he began his sprint to fame as a lyricist.
Could be, who knows? There's something due any day. I will know right away soon as it shows. It'd make him cannonball it down through the sky, gleaming its eye bright as a rose. The next show that sported Sondheim lyrics was A Fabulous Gypsy, with music by Julie Stein.
Of course, we all remember Everything's Coming Up Roses, but the number I found most informative was the one sung by the stripper.
You can pull all the stops out till they call the cops out. Grind your behind till you're banned. But you gotta let them give it if you want to get a hand. You can sacrifice your sack row, working in the back row. But then I don't tell you second. Kid, you gotta let them give it if you want to get a hand.
Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight.
But Sondheim wanted more. He wanted to write the lyrics and the music.
So in '62, he wrote the whole score of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Nothing with kings, nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars, and clowns.
Sondheim's next musical.
Anyone can whistle.
A satirical attempt to deal with some of the world's problems.
As George F. Kaufman once remarked,
Satire is what closes on Saturday night.
And of course, it did.
But Anyone Can Whistle left us some wonderful songs.
Did you hear? Did you see? Is a parade in town? Are there drums without me? Was a parade in town? 'Cause I'm dressed at last at my best and my banners are high. Tell me while I was getting ready, did a parade go by? Sondheim next trained his sights on marriage. Specifically, marriage among slightly jaded, blasé New York sophisticates. Ultimately, the need not to be alone appeared to be the deciding factor, and most of the musical's characters opted for company.
Company was the name of the show, but some members of the company had lingering doubts.
Pardon me, is everybody here? Because if everybody's here, I want to thank you all for coming to the wedding. I appreciate you going even more. I mean, you must know it's a better thing to do and not a word of what you call. I'm Paul, you know the man I'm going to marry, but I'm not because it wouldn't ruin anyone as wonderful as he is. Thank you all for the gifts and the flowers. Thank you all. Now it's back to the showers. Don't tell Paul that I'm not getting married today.
Somebody hold me too close. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being
Now, the nominees for the outstanding reproduction of a play or musical are American Buffalo, a play about society's dispossessed, The Inarticulate Losers, written by David Mamet, an American in his mid-30s. Death of a Salesman, the classic American tragedy written by Arthur Miller 3 years before David Mamet was born. Heartbreak House by George Bernard Shaw, written in the years surrounding World War I, a condemnation of a society rushing to embrace apocalypse. And American playwright Eugene O'Neill's A Moon for the Misbegotten, which takes a soul-searching look at the terror and loneliness of living and the occasional human contact which makes it bearable. And the winner is Death of a Salesman. Mr. Whitehead cannot be with us this evening, as he is working in Australia, Mr. Whitehead is, and Mr. Stevens is preoccupied in Washington. Our congratulations to them. In 1927, Florence Ziegfeld built a magnificent Art Deco theater which bore his name. In 1968, it was torn down, and there were many in show business who felt a chilly wind, among them Stephen Sondheim. His next musical was called Follies, and the set was a partially demolished theater in which show business hopefuls rehearsed.
I'll go anywhere. I was up all night painting these legs. I'm just a Broadway baby, working on my tired feet. Ow. Pounding 42nd Street to be in a show. Oh, a Broadway baby, learning how to sing and dance, waiting for that one big chance to be in a show. Oh, gee, I'd like to be on some marquee, old twinkling lights, a spark to pierce the dark from Battery Park to Washington Heights. Change someday, maybe, if I stick it long enough, I could get to strut my stuff and be in a show. Hey, Mr. Producer, I'm talking to you, sir. Hey, Alex, Jerry, everybody get off the phone. I don't need a lot, only what I got. Just a tube of grease paint and a follow spot. I bet you didn't know what you had when you wrote this one, Steve. Another key change.
Won the Tony that year. Now, the nominees for Outstanding Choreography this year are Wayne Cilento for Baby, Graciela Danielle for The Rink, Danny Daniels for The Tap Dance Kid, and Scott Salmon for La Cage aux Folles. And the winner is Danny Daniels for The Tap Dance Kid.
Thank you. I have to thank our producers for putting their money where their convictions were. Stanley White, Evelyn Barron, Harvey Claris, and Michael Stewart. I want to thank also our author, Charlie Blackwell, for writing such a beautiful show, and composer Henry Krieger and lyricist Robert Lurick. My associate choreographer, DJ Gianni, who has to put up with an awful lot because I'm not only his boss, but I'm his father, and he does a wonderful job. And I want to also thank my great dance group, our fabulous dancers Hinton Battle and Alan Weeks. And last but not least, of course, is our brilliant director, Vivian Madelon, who brought the whole thing together and gave me so much help and encouragement. Thank you very much.
Hundreds of miles above the Earth, an American satellite focuses a special scanning device on the Rocky Mountains. Geologists at Conoco, a DuPont company, interpret and use these satellite images and other new space-age techniques to pinpoint likely places to explore for the oil we all need. At DuPont, we believe innovative technology can help solve America's energy problems. DuPont, better things for better living.
AT&T is in music. How? With our people. People who can show record companies how to use our AT&T long-distance network to fill orders electronically from distributors all over the country. So the music never stops.
You got me dancing, dancing, dancing.
The people of AT&T Communications. We're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
I wanted you to be the first to know.
Wait a minute. You proposed, she accepted.
Yeah.
That makes me the third to know.
I stand corrected.
To my little brother, to his first and hopefully last marriage, and to myself for remaining the eligible bachelor.
You don't toast a marriage with 1 calorie.
The Diet Pepsi you do. Taste it. They put NutraSweet in it.
Yeah. You know, I hope Mom likes her.
Well, if she doesn't, you'll be the first to know.
Taste improved by Diet Pepsi.
Europe, in the dazzling 20s. No one captured its spirit like the woman they called Bavière. Many pursued her, but the only man she wanted was the one she couldn't have. That night, Bavière was radiant. The next day, she was gone. Perhaps Bavière did get the one thing she ever really wanted. Bavière, the fragrance, from Ava.
Stay tuned as the 1984 Tony Awards continue with Julie Andrews, Robert Preston, Bernadette Peters, Tony Randall, Robert Guillaume, Beth Howland, Carol Channing, Leslie Uggams, and the music of Jerry Herman.
Waiting for Columbia. This was the first time. And there it was. We could build it, we could fly it, we could bring it back. Happy landings. Columbia had come home.
The Boston Celtics will try to use their size and strength to overcome the speed and finesse of the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 4 of the NBA World Championship, Wednesday night, live on CBS Sports.
This is CBS.
Good evening. From the Channel 2 newsroom, this is Newsbreak. Hundreds of people on Chicago's South Side were evacuated today after a train carrying dangerous chemicals derailed. No injuries reported. President Reagan today visited his ancestors' village in Ireland. Later this week, he'll go to France for D-Day anniversary observances. And Bernard Epton says he might be a candidate for Illinois governor in 1986. Details on those stories and more right after the Tony Award show on the Channel 2 Weekend News.
Time to make the donuts. Time to make the donuts. The donuts. At Dunkin' Donuts, we make them fresh day and night. I made the donuts.
Something is always developing at Osco. 7 days a week. Get color prints from your color film in 1 day, or they're free. Osco Photo Express.
Why just mail it when you can instant mail it with EasyLink?
Loris Quartz. It's accurate, no wine, great looking. $9.95 to $54.95. Loris Quartz. It's everything except expensive.
Where are they now?
And the Chicago Emmys, Monday starting at 8.
This portion of the 1984 Tony Awards is sponsored by Avon. And the more than 1 million Avon representatives all around the world are proud to support the 1984 Tony Awards. Hats off to Broadway from Avon.
A Little Night Music won the Tony for Best Musical of 1973.
It was the most romantic score Sondheim had written to date.
A lot of the good
1, 2, 3. Can there be anyone on any continent who does not know this lovely song?
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines. Don't you love fun? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. So where are the clowns? Quick, send in the clowns. Well, maybe next
More like an opera than anything Sondheim had yet written, Sweeney Todd was based on the oft-told tale of a mad, revengeful barber in 19th century London. Amidst all this wonderful melodic skullduggery were several lyrical moments.
Nothing's gonna harm you, not while I'm around. Nothing's gonna harm you, no sir, not while I'm around. Demons will charm you with a smile for a while, but in time, nothing can harm you, not while I'm around.
The wonderful thing about a really good show song is that long after the show is over and done with, the song still has the power to involve audiences who never got to see the original show. This next song is from Merrily We Roll Along.
Not a day goes by, not a single day, but you somewhere come into my life, and you don't go away, and I have to say, if you do, I'll die. I want day after day after day after day after day after day after day, till the days go by, till the days go by, till the days go by.
And now the latest Sondheim musical, Sunday in the Park with George. George is the French impressionist Georges Seurat. And the park, just outside of Paris, was the stage for his famous painting, A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of Le Grand Chat, which now hangs in the Art Institute of Chicago. George has worked on his pointillist painting of the various park regulars for 2 years, and having just sketched his mother, is about to bring order out of chaos and complete his canvas at last. Mandy Patinkin is George, and Bernadette Peters is his mistress and model.
Remember, George.
Order. Design. Tension. Balance.
When you play telephone, if you can't hear everything, that's part of the game. But when you pay for calls, it's no fun. AT&T thinks that every long-distance call should sound as close as next door, and isn't that why you call?
Want to try it, too?
Calling anywhere, anytime, long-distance operators over a century of commitment. That's AT&T. The more you hear, the better we sound.
Reach out and touch someone.
The GE 2800 dishwasher. It does almost everything but clear the table.
GE, we bring good things to life.
Many Visa card holders will soon receive their new Visa cards.
Got yours too?
Yeah.
For some, it will be the new classic Visa card.
I haven't seen you around lately.
Oh, I travel a lot on business.
Until your new classic card arrives, your current Visa card is as good as ever.
You want to break this in?
You're on.
It's a classic. Your new Visa card.
Visa.
In Japan, there is a hydrating lotion the skin seems to absorb instantaneously. In France, a skincare regime helps women look younger longer by filtering the sun. In Germany, there is a cell energizer that accelerates the skin's ability to renew itself. And all of these products were developed for you by one company, Avon. Better skin. There's nothing more important to you. That's why it's so important to us.
Avon now.
Wow.
The nominees for Outstanding Direction of a Musical are James Lapine for Sunday in the Park with George, Arthur Lawrence for La Cage aux Folles, Richard Maltby Jr. for Baby, Vivian Mantelon for The Tap Dance Kid, and the winner is... oh, dear. Arthur Lawrence for La
From the first day that I met with Harvey Fierstein and Jerry Herman, La Cage aux Folles has been the most joyous and affectionate experience I've ever had in the theater. That's partly due to the nature of the piece, but mainly to all the people involved, on stage, off stage, backstage, and in the audience. I am deeply grateful to all of them. But there's one person in particular without whom I could not have done this show, and that's Fritz Holt. Thank you, Fritz, and thank you.
Thank you. I'm here for the Salesman Company, and they join me in congratulating our colleagues who are being honored tonight. The nominees for Best Play are Glengarry Glen Ross by David Mamet. Noise is Off by Michael Frayn. play Memory by Joanna M. Glass, and The Real Thing by Tom Stoppard. And this year's Tony for Best Play is The Real Thing, Tom Stoppard.
I owe everywhere. I have to thank 7 actors, 3 designers, a director, and 7 producers in 30 seconds. That's about 0.7 of a second per producer. Perhaps the others will forgive me if I only get as far as Manny Eisenberg and Mike Nichols. As you know, a writer with a play coming towards Broadway, he really won't get far without the support of 2 people, particularly an artistic kind of fellow spirit who will protect every phrase. And a realist with his feet on the ground who understands how budgets work, and I was very lucky to have both. Manny loved the play. Mike figured he knew how to get the overheads down to $125,000 a week. Thank you both very much. Thank you.
A particular thank you to some other partners, Roger Berlind, Ivan Block, and Byron Goldman, and a thank you to Jeremy and Christine for their kind words, to Mike for his friendship and for his talent, and to Tom Stoppard, whose graciousness is only exceeded by his brilliance. Thank you very much.
I want to say a special thank you to Michael Codron, without whom this probably would never have happened in New York.
I am Louis Theroux. The clothes I design transform a woman. My fragrance from Avon, Fantasque, does the same thing. Fantasque lets a woman experience intensely her power to excite. Fantasque.
Exclusively from Avon.
Polaroid is traveling around America to let people discover today's Polaroid instant pictures. Here's the great barbecue cook-off in Conroe, Texas. Meet Mark Peters. It's his first time.
Boy, that's vivid color. They're real sharp and clear. I am really not that good. Makes for a better time when you can see them right away, doesn't it?
That's right.
Everyone that I showed their pictures to, they really brightened up their day.
Come on, America. Discover today's Polaroid instant pictures.
You can make friends with the camera.
AT&T is in cereal. How? Captain Crunch put a treasure map in their cereal boxes and added something else that turned out to be a real treasure. What was it? An AT&T 800 service number. 24 million kids called to find out where the treasure was. And 18 million boxes of cereal sold in 6 weeks. The people of AT&T Communications. We're thinking about your business in ways you never thought of.
When you invite a man out to a nice place for lunch, you really mean it.
May I show you to your seat, sir? This is our most popular patch of sunshine.
Let's start with a drink.
Diet Pepsi?
Diet Pepsi. Great taste with NutraSweet.
I'm sure it'll be to your liking. Yes?
Yes. To everything with no reservations.
You don't need reservations, sir.
Taste improved by Diet Pepsi.
Stay tuned for Julie Andrews, Robert Preston, Bernadette Peters, Gene Barry, George Hearn, Shirley MacLaine, Robert Guillaume, and La Cage aux Folles.
Wednesday, journey on an exciting adventure with a family of wild African lions. A new CBS special. Follow world-renowned wildlife experts into the incredible, intimate world of 3 generations of lions. Experience the magnificent adventure. The Lions of Etosha, the King of the Beasts. Wednesday.
This is CBS.
The new American business morning. Faster, more fleeting, with time more precious. And UPS is there, meeting the challenge every business day. It's UPS Next Day Air, and that means getting it there. Keeping pace with morning deliveries to more people and more places than ever before.
UPS Next Day Air. Morning.
Morning. Morning. UPS next day air. Getting it there every business morning.
Getting it there.
Now there's more reason not to leave home without the American Express card. Every time you use the card, American Express makes a donation to help renovate Lincoln Park Zoo and make it a better place for all the animals to live. So buy a trunk for an elephant. Charge something for a sea lion.
Henry, you forgot the American Express card.
Thank you, honey.
Bye, honey.
The animals at Lincoln Park Zoo are counting on you.
Bernie Epton may run for governor. The story after the Tony Awards.
If I had to sum up Jerry Herman in only one word, there is only one word that could be used. Optimism. Now, I'm not saying that in a Herman musical, the boy always gets the girl, or this year, the boy. But if he doesn't, it isn't for lack of trying. This is a composer who doesn't recognize defeat, for whom there's always a future, and not just for people, but for countries too.
This is the land of milk and honey. This is the land of sun and song and...
In 1961, when Jerry Herman wrote Milk and Honey, it was the first musical to use an Israeli setting.
This is the land that heaven blessed, and this lovely land is mine.
Shalom, shalom, you'll find shalom, the nicest greeting you know. It means bonjour, salud, and skol, and twice as much as hello.
And Milk and Honey was nominated for the Tony that year. Not bad for a composer's first Broadway show. He won it for his second Hello, Dolly, and so did the star, the outrageous and wonderful Carol Channing.
Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's highlight. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life.
Don't you just love that? And there's another song just before the big rousing finish that is typical Herman. We held for an instant, and his arms felt safe and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved. A whole life long. with the success of Dolly, 2 years later, Jerry wrote Mame, about everybody's favorite irrepressible aunt. It was a score rich with wonderful songs.
Did he need a stronger hand? Did he need a lighter touch? Was I soft or was I tough? Did I give enough? Did I give too much? At the moment that he needed me, did I ever turn away? Would I be there when he called if he walked into my life today? Should I blame the times I pampered him or blame the times I bossed him? What a shame, I never really found the boy before I left him. He is a little fast. Was his world a little free? Was there too much of a crowd? Oh, too lush and loud, and not enough of me? Though I'll ask myself my whole life long, what went wrong along the way? Would I make the same mistake if he walked into my life today? If that man with the bugle walked into my life today.
Light the candle, get the ice out, run the rhyme, it's the day.
I think it came out. Don't look in your program, me. Jerry's thinking of me for the sequel. They said I could keep the dress. But I got one just like it at home. So I'm going to keep the car. And the boys.
You make the old magnolia tree blossom at the mention of your name.
What do you think?
Your special fascinational, prove to be inspirational. We think you're just sensational,
Congratulations, Jerry.
That year, Frankie Michaels and Beatrice Arthur from Mame won Tonys as outstanding featured players in a musical. This year, the nominees as outstanding featured actress in a musical are Martine Allard for The Tap Dance Kid, Liz Calloway for Baby, Dana Ivey for Sunday in the Park with George, and Leela Kadrova for Zorba.
And the winner is Lila Kadrova for Zorba.
I cannot believe it. Excuse me about my voice. I don't know, disappeared completely while I was sitting there. I was working in theaters and making movies all over the world, but my real dream, it was always to play on Broadway. And it is only thanks to Michael Kakoyanis, my director, who brought me here on Broadway and in the film as well, and to stay here tonight in front of all of you and receive this award. It is really more than I could expect, really. And I wanted just to thank my producers, Fran and Barry Weisler, and of course, the remarkable Anthony Quinn. And all the members of the cast and crew of Zorba, these wonderful people who helped me so much with their gentleness and love. I love them because they are wonderful and talented people. And then I thank also my husband because of his love and care, and I thank God because he's my producer, my director, and my partner. I love you all.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by a Featured Actor in a Musical are Hinton Battle for The Tap Dance Kid, Stephen Jeffries for The Human Comedy, Todd Graff for Baby, Samuel E. Wright for The Tap Dance Kid, and the winner is Hinton Battle for The Tap Dance Kid.
Well, whoa, this is wonderful. First, I'd like to thank the producers of The Tap Dance Kid for sticking it out and helping us make the show what it is, and the cast for being there, and Danny Daniels for giving me such a great number to do, and Leah Bass, who's been a great support, and Charlie Blackwell, and everyone that's just been wonderful, and this for my mom. All right, thank you.
Come on, Ruth. Long drive home.
Right there. Now, the tuna casserole's almost done. There should be enough for
the next 2 weeks?
Remember to make a green vegetable.
I'll be fine, Mom.
I know.
Come on, we can still talk. Tomorrow you can just call me up and say, pick up those towels off the bathroom floor. Be just like I'm still home.
Almost.
When a faraway voice sounds as close as you feel, that's AT&T.
Reach out and touch someone.
Even small towns have big emergencies where quick diagnosis is crucial. But most small-town hospitals can't afford big city laboratories. So DuPont invented the Clinical Analyzer, an automated blood lab which can tell doctors what they need to know now, when they can do something about it.
Sounds fine.
The Clinical Analyzer is one small part of DuPont's health science efforts. But as Anderson County, Texas can tell you, it's no small thing.
DuPont, makers of better things for better living.
While Mame was still playing at the Winter Garden, Jerry Herman opened another musical. Like Mame and Dolly before it, Dear World was another about a woman of indomitable spirit.
Music is no longer lovely, if laughter is no longer lilting, if lovers are no longer loving, then I don't want to know if summer is no longer carefree, if children are no longer singing, if people are no longer happy, then I don't want to know.
Almost 4 years passed before another Herman musical opened on Broadway. It was called Mac and Mabel. I was Mac Sennett, and Bernadette Peters was Mabel Norman. It was all about silent films. It received 8 Tony nominations, and I got to sing, I won't send roses or hold the door. I won't remember which dress you wore. My heart is too much in control. The lack of romance in my soul will turn you gray, kid. So stay away, kid.
Time heals everything. Tuesday, Thursday. Time heals everything. April, August. The winter that I'm going through. Some Tuesday, Thursday, April, August, autumn, winter, next year. Some year, time heals everything. Time heals everything. But
Jerry's back on Broadway again this year with his usual positive outlook, his confidence that the best of times is now. And now, Gene Barry, who stars with George Hearn in the flamboyant La Cage aux Folles, a nightclub in Saint-Tropez.
Bonsoir, bonsoir. La Cage aux Folles welcomes you to our world-famous review, starring the notorious and dangerous Cagelle. Ladies and gentlemen, I warn you to remain in your seats while Les Cagelles perform. The management will not be responsible for your safety. And now, I beg you, open your eyes. You have arrived at La Cage aux Folles.
We are what we are, and what we are is an illusion. We love how it feels, putting on heels, causing confusion. We face life though it's sometimes sweet and sometimes bitter. Face life with a little guts and lots of glitter. Under our props, girdles and chops, proving we are what we are.
And now Zaza, the leading lady of La Cage aux Folles, Mr. George Hearn.
I am what I am. I am my own special creation. So come take a look. Give me the hook. Oh, the ovation. It's my world that I want to have a little pride in. My world, and it's not a place I have to hide in. Life's not worth a damn till you can shout out loud, I am what I am. I am what I am. I don't want praise. I don't want pity. I bang my own drum. Some think it's noise. I think it's pretty. There's one life and there's no return and no deposit. One life, so it's time to open up your closet. Life's not worth a damn till you can say, hey world, I am what I
Airborne has moved ahead of the pack and is challenging Federal to a race. Now, Federal starts this race with a big lead, but with a staggering load of packages to carry every day. At Airborne, we're just the right size to give you great service and move fast. So fast that Airborne makes most of their deliveries before 10:30 a.m. No wonder more people are switching to Airborne than ever before. And no wonder we say, watch out, Federal, here comes Airborne.
To endure, to adapt, to overcome. The Xerox 1075 Marathon Copier. Designed to be versatile with a choice of 20 configurations. Engineered with the intelligence of 6 personal computers to perform at peak levels at all times. And built to endure. The 1075, one of the Marathon Copiers. From Team Xerox, official sponsor of the 1984 Olympics.
People think I always take the train because I'm afraid of flying. Me, afraid? Nah. I take the train because it's the best way to enjoy light beer from Miller. Rolling through the Rockies and all across the Midwest, nice, less filling. And it tastes great coast to coast. That's why I take the train, not because I'm scared of anything. Hey, what happened to the
Light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer, and less.
Maybe I am a little afraid of the dark.
Is that my middle name, Rosebud?
You remember Richie from the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Oh, Dad, I think I'm going to faint.
The mischievous My Little Margie, Gale Storm.
teen show host, Lloyd Thaxton.
Whatever happened to the screaming newsboy, Timmy Long?
I'm Bob Surratt.
And I'm Carrie Cochran.
Where are they now?
Find out Monday night at 8.
Then at 8:30, it's the Chicago Emmy Awards with Rita Moreno, Robert Goulet, and the Dream Girls. The Chicago Emmy Awards following Where Are They Now? Monday night.
And now some awards many nominees have been waiting for all evening. But as it happens, our audiences here in the theater and at home have seen most of these nominees tonight on this program, which should make it just that little bit more exciting. So place your bets. The nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actress in a Musical are Retta Hughes for her passionate performance as the minister of a storefront church in Amen Corner, Liza Minnelli as the hippie prodigal flower child of the 60s in The Rink, Bernadette Peters, who plays a delectable 19th century artist's mistress and her own daughter 90-odd years later in Sunday in the Park with George, and Chita Rivera as the proprietor of a dilapidated roller skating in The Rink. And the winner is Chita Rivera in The Rink.
Very much. I am very happy that I bought the bottom of the dress this year. I've been coming for so many years and losing for so many years and being quite happy about it. I decided, why buy the bottom of the dress? Nobody ever sees it. I would just like to say, first of all, thank you for this. What a wonderful honor. And I would also like to say that I've always felt that I've been rewarded all through these years because of every show I've ever been in and every face I've ever looked into. So thank you to everyone that I've ever worked with because you're just wonderful and you've made me exactly what I am, whatever it is. But I want to thank particularly those people who are responsible for my being here. Fred, Ebb, and John Kander, who promised me and gave me a wonderful show and a magnificent score. And I shall remember it till the day I die. Thank you. Terrence McNally for writing this wonderful show with such love. A.J. Antoon for directing it with dignity and pride and love. Graciela, Danielle, Fione, Mark, and Peter. I'm getting very nervous. And besides that fantastic company of ours, that's just absolutely magnificent. Thank you. This is actually dedicated to my mother, who never saw it. And, Ma, you can relax now. Thank you very much.
The nominees for Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Musical are Gene Barry, who owns the nightclub and discovers the depth of his love in La Cage aux Folles. George Hearn as the flamboyant, caring and proud Zaza in La Cage aux Folles. Ron Moody as Fagin, the villain you love to hate in Oliver. And Mandy Patinkin as the dedicated and consumed artist in Sunday in the Park with George. And the winner is George Hearn in La Cage aux Folles.
What some people won't do. You call her the Tony, but her real name is Antoinette. I want you to remember. I want to thank everybody connected with the show. Everybody in the crew, the cast, the musicians, the management, wonderful. I couldn't possibly remember everybody's name. I remember my mother's name. Hi, Mom. And then there's Alan Carr and all of our management, Marvin Krause and Barry and Fritz, the wonderful Fritz Holt again.
Specifically, I'd like to thank Theone Aldrich, who proved again the old adage that the clothes make the man. Harvey Firestein, that gentle giant, Jerry Herman, Scott Salmon, who joins the long and illustrious list of choreographers I have brought to tears. And everybody in the cast. And on one side of this, probably the front and not the back, I'll have engraved the name of Arthur Lawrence. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, it's such a pleasure for me tonight to present someone else with an award. I mean that. This is an award that relates to the thing closest to my heart, and that is the celebration of the Broadway gypsy. When I first saw a chorus line, it must have been in May of 1975. I was sitting in the theater, and before the curtain went up, I began to cry. On the glittering evening of September 29th, 1983, theatrical history was made. 1,500 extraordinarily lucky people were privileged to be sitting in the Schubert Theater when a chorus line broke the record and celebrated becoming the longest-running Broadway show of all time. That performance was a performance like no other since or before. 332 actors, actresses, gypsies, singers, dancers from all over the world who had appeared in their own country's productions of this legendary musical flew into New York and dazzled us with their especially staged numbers arranged just for the celebration. And when it was all over, there wasn't a dry eye in that house either. So, to crown that celebration, here is the first actual 14-karat gold Tony. To accept it is producer Joseph Papp.
You know what happens to people when they get past 40? Two things. One is they sort of lose their memory, and the second is thank you. I'm going to read these remarks because I don't want to exclude anybody. I think of this Tony as a golden pie, baked by many people and institutions, and therefore to be equitably divided and shared. The first big slice must certainly go to the audience who bought and are still buying the tickets which permitted us to break the record for the longest-running show in Broadway history. Thank you, dear audience. Almost half of this pie must go to Michael Bennett. For conceiving the show, but especially for his miraculous staging of 332 worldwide chorus line performers at the Schubert Theater last September, which celebrated the record-shattering 3,389th performance of this unstoppable musical, an event of amazement and theatrical wizardry whose logistics alone would have staggered the commander of a division of soldiers. But the prowess of Michael's army was not especially in arms, but more in legs, in voices, in acting, in love, all coming together through the consummate skills of a highly trained and disciplined corps, capable of responding swiftly and magnificently to Michael Bennett's inspired leadership. So a big slice for those on the line. A goodly portion indeed must be reserved for the irrepressible composer Marvin Hamlisch, whose heavenly music carried a chorus line to fame and fortune, and there's a lot of Tony pie for the men whose sparkling prose, whose inspiration and witty poetry made millions of people laugh and cry. Ed Kleban, James Kirkwood, and Nicholas Dante, the writers of the chorus line. And finally, with the emotion provoked by the words and music came the motion the dancing under the urgent and demanding direction of co-choreographer Bob Avian, a juicy part slice to you, Robert. And more of the same to stage designer Robert Wagner for those stunning mirrors which reflected the dancers in the striking costumes of Theone V. Aldridge, all made beautifully visible by the genius of the lamp, light, Tharon Mussa. This is a great team, a great show, and a great captain. Thank you very much.
We have already seen some wonderful excerpts from the 4 outstanding musicals that are nominated for this year's Tony. And they are Baby, La Cage aux Folles, Sunday in the Park with George, and the Tap Dance Kid. And the winner, La Cage aux Folles.
I learned something sitting here tonight. I tried to rehearse and think, but you know what happened? It's about perseverance. It's taken 6 years to get the show on, because that's when I saw it in Paris, and no one remembers that a little man called Jean Perret, the actor, started to create those characters, and Jerry and Harvey and Arthur brought them to singing and dancing life. The Guardian Angels, all without the help, I'm just the conduit to getting this all together. These people are real estate, money, talent, and niceness, and we need that in the theater. And also, it's the only award show where people who aren't nominated show up. Hollywood, take a lesson from Broadway. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sean. I love you, Lenny. I love you, Sandy, Johnny, and Laura. You're the best.
There are 100 people.
Dear Xerox, I want to thank the memory writer for making my job a pleasure.
Everything I type looks like $1 million. The secretary who sits next to me will have to get her own. I don't like to share it that way.
These are actual letters from secretaries all over the country.
It's cut my workload in half and doubled my productivity.
When we have to use another machine, it's like going from a Rolls Royce to a mule.
And that's why no electronic typewriter sells better than the memory writer. Part of Team Xerox.
Come on, let's surprise Mom. Yuck. Don't you have to rinse them? Matthew, get to work.
The new KitchenAid dishwasher lets you skip the rinsing. KitchenAid's unique new triple filtration system with a hard food disposer gets your dishes cleaner than any other leading brand.
Do you like it?
I love it.
KitchenAid for the way it's made.
I'm going to show you an amazing card trick. Amazing. Because it can only be done with these cards. Only Citibank cards give you the bonus of Citi dollars every time you use them. Good for big savings on color TVs, cordless phones, even a cruise. For the bonus of Citi dollars, get a Citibank MasterCard or Visa card. That'll do the trick. Citibank. It pays to use our cards.
Question. What's crisp and clean with no caffeine? Right. 7-Up. Now, what's a delicious cola with no caffeine? No such thing, right? Wrong. Here's Like Cola, the caffeine-free cola from 7-Up, the company famous for making great-tasting soft drinks with no caffeine.
Like Cola and sugar-free Like, the 7-Up of colas.
Move over, Coke and Pepsi, for the 7-Up of colas. Any more questions? Class dismissed.
That the lights of Broadway are shining brighter than ever.
And how appropriate that this is the very beginning of National Theater Week. All across this country, people will be celebrating the theater, and we are pleased to have been the first.
You bet. And from all of us to all of you, theatrically speaking...
The best of times is now. What's left of summer
The nominees have been selected by the experts of the Tony Nominating Committee from the productions which have opened this season. The secret ballots were then voted by the 670 qualified industry voters, and the results have been tabulated by the accounting firm of Lutz & Carr. Good night.
To learn more about the musical theater, the Library of Congress suggests these books. Broadway Musicals by Martin Godfrey, The World of Musical Comedy, the story of the American musical stage is told through the careers of its foremost composers and lyricists by Stanley Green. These and many other interesting books are available in your local library and bookstore. Visit them. They'll be happy to help you read more about them.
Tuesday, the police wanted her to work undercover for them.
I go to school now. I don't turn tricks.